Warning: the views on this program might be triggering to some individuals. The views of the host are his own and do not reflect the views of any guests. If you find yourself upset or angry at some of the views and opinions of this show, you can simply turn it off. We celebrate diversity and freedom on this program, and diversity is not only unique to a certain set of philosophies or ideology. The beauty of this country is that we can have a difference of opinion. Not all nations or countries can say the same, and one day, we may not be able to say the same either.
Are we going live right now?
I'm in character. No, shut up. Well, hello, YouTube. Thanks for stopping by A Dying Breed, where we talk about anything and everything. Things you want to hear about, things you may not. But that's what the comment section's for. Today's guest, all the way from 10 miles away, is Johnny the Man Tomsik. Everybody, please welcome Johnny Tomsik.
Well, I don't know if I want to identify. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay. You can identify whatever you want. This is what this show's about. How do you identify? Let's start with that.
Well, basically what's going on is I'm here and I could be queer, I could be straight, I could be whatever you want me to be. But one thing I definitely am is a musician, and I'll tell you that. I'm feeling deader than the dead. I swear my face was turning red.
Dude, that's what I like to hear. What caught my words, the words out of your mouth mostly is musician. Let's talk about that a little bit. What do you mean by musician? You scratch something up like that, or you actually pick a tool up? Not a tool, but a guitar.
It's just, as a musician, you're somebody that, like, anytime that you're not, like, really doing something, like, say, for your friend or, you know, your workplace or your family, you're picking up an instrument, because that's what you do as a musician, whatever your instrument may be. Okay,
well, that was well said. All right, so elaborate on what is your thing. Creating music is your thing. Do you do any singing? Or okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about
it. It's interesting because I don't like really create the words before the song. It's something that
the music brings the words to you.
Right.
Okay.
And I'll just like sometimes do like some free verse stuff where I'm not really sure what's going to come out, and then like I'll just sort of improve on it. Like I'll start with that and then just keep working from there. I mean, each artist does it their own way, but that's usually how I approach my style.
Okay, you working on a mixing board here? Where's your music coming from to use? What programs do you use? How does that work a little bit? A lot of people have heard it, but they don't know how it's happening.
Well, sometimes I will pick up like a guitar or something and record on there. A lot of the time I'll just record to like my iPad or some, like in my old songs I had an iMac, but that thing ended up crapping out one day with an update. I would say something mean to Apple, but they could be watching.
They could be watching.
Yeah.
He is very, very scared of the world, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I was actually we had talked to you once before, and you had mentioned something about doing music. So I go creeping. That's my job. So I got online and I found a YouTube channel you have. It's called JT Smooth.
Well, it's actually John
Tomsik, but you go by JT Smooth.
I have an alias as JT Smooth. It's one of my many of aliases. I don't know. It's just however I feel that day. I have like certain aliases for those days.
Okay, I think we call that multiple personality syndrome.
Yeah.
So
I'm a multiple musician. I have multiple musician disorder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you'd say 4 or 5 different characters throughout the month, maybe?
Yeah, I would say in real life I'm not schizophrenic, but musician-wise I definitely am.
Okay, so are most of those roles males?
All males. There could be a female one day. Like I said, I don't really identify. I mean, the music's supposed to. I personally like females, but if if there's songs out there that could possibly be for both, you know, and I mean, I hope so.
A unitrack.
Yeah.
Lay down a unitrack. Okay.
Yeah.
So until you sit down
some
to
are just
pee,
love, yeah.
until you sit down to pee, you're not sure if you had a vagina or not. I do it because I'm lazy. That's why I sit down to pee.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I heard some stuff, and I was thinking, I said, man, how's he making these tunes? Because I love messing around like that. I like to, because I'm always riding down the road, singing in the shower, doing whatever, trying to make up some lyrics, get a little flow going. I'd love to have some music to put it to. But I'm kind of with you on that. You hear the tune, and then the words come out of what you feel like matches that. So that's, you're doing the same thing, basically. You hear that beat, that tune, you're like, now I want to put some words with it.
Yeah, and sometimes like a beat will come out on a day that like you have this like some type of weird, awkward, suppressed energy that you don't really know how to get rid of. Sometimes it could be a negative or a happy thing or whatever, but sometimes when you have urges like that you can't really like understand, it's like
go to the music.
You go to the music, and then it just fixes the problem. Like, it's amazing. It's like a therapeutic thing, but it's also, I've never like dreaded going into my room to play music.
There's some creations, but a lot of the world's dealing with that now, and that's a lot of this show, the background of what we're looking at doing, figure out what's going on, what can we do as a speck, just a grain of sand in this world to make a difference in ourselves and a difference in how we can cope with the changes of the world. I sit back and ask myself, I'm 54, is it because I'm older, I can't accept the change? I don't believe that's the fact, because crime, the abuse, the fighting, the country, the state of our country, it's a reality. So it's not a fictitious deal going on in my mind that I'm just getting old and I'm not accepting change like my grandparents did to me. You know, I knew he was like, your grandson, you're stupid, you're doing this and that. You know, it ain't back in our day. I don't want to be that guy, but this crap's real. So what we want to do is to help people understand, what can you do to stay in your lane, move forward, be happy. Even though all this is going around, it doesn't mean you've got to be part of it, because you can't make a difference. All you can do is vote at this time and stay away from the people. So stay in your lane, do your thing. And that's good to know, that you can go in there and make some music and feel good about yourself when the crap starts getting bad out there.
Yeah. Sometimes you can't let it overpower you too, because like music's a great escape, but sometimes you have to like
too much
escape can cause you to lose grip of reality. And so at the same time, it's good to be aware of what's going on around you, and then also be a big force in everyone's life as well, because you know, you can't get selfish with what you love too. Like,
too much of anything is a bad thing. Could
exactly.
be a bad thing.
That's what I was going to say.
That's me. I've got a problem with my girlfriend with that. We'll carry on. I won't go into that.
Well, yeah, man. I just feel that I'm pretty happy doing music, and I mean, that's probably the thing that makes me most happy. I mean, I make movies and stuff too, but I mostly love music.
So music first, movie second, maybe. And I noticed on your channel too, you had some little shorts you had put on there, some clips. Is that something you wrote, direct, shot? I don't remember what the credits said after it rolled.
I have my first movie, Oh Snap, on there.
Oh Snap!
That we did in one day. It's a full-length movie, and it was just amazing how it worked out. And it was like, it ended up being pretty good for never have done it before. Well, at least I thought, and some people enjoyed it. So I felt like that was a thing well done. And then I tried to make a short film that I put on there too, called Murky Waters, and it stars one of my friends, Mary, and it just came out really, really good.
Can you preface that movie a little bit about what it was about and how many actresses were in it?
Well, that one had just like a few people in it. honestly, I did that one as more of I gave them a scenario, and then they came in and improv'd some of the material.
I'm sorry, I just can't do this.
And I provided locations and just the basic overall idea, and it worked out really great. I thought, hey, maybe we could get people together who want to do more improv short films and things like that.
I love improv. Improv's always fun.
Yeah,
it is.
It's. I feel like it's more natural.
It is.
And it's just a lot of people like reality shows, but I mean, if we kind of like gear shows that are like a mix between reality versus, a
little bit of a script,
a little bit of
a focused journey, direction,
but not too much.
Right, I got you. No, it makes sense. So that's the one you were talking about. You did it all in a day.
Yeah, we did Oh Snap in one day.
I must have started real early, because even on shorts, how long was it? Just minute-wise, let these people know how.
Minute-wise, it ended up being like 48 minutes.
48 minutes, and you did that one day, and there's so much goes into getting 48 minutes, anything, to put together.
There was a guy that had a toothache, and he was the bad guy, so he looked really mad, and it was because he had a toothache.
So he really had a toothache.
Yeah, he had to get.
He was there. He was just hurting.
The next day, he got his tooth extracted. Actually,
that's bad.
That's kind of a there. I was watching a thing about The Sopranos, and Tony Soprano, when he's supposed to be kind of agitated all the time, and there's things where people will put rocks in their shoes. So there was another actor too, I was reading about it, but they would put a rock in their shoe, because you got a rock in your shoe. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
And that just keeps, that frustration up. And I'm like, you think about acting, and it's just, you think that they just get a character, but they're actually using physical things to create that character. And I don't remember who else it was. It may have been Matt Damon or somebody, but the rock in the shoe is a common thing for them to have. So they're walking around on set and they got a freaking rock in their shoe. So they're frustrated, they're aggravated.
Okay,
yeah.
so
that's good.
Keeping them uncomfortable is weird, because we had an actress in Stokes that we shot. And Hunter, I don't know if you remember this, but we're out on your family's property, and we were shooting a cemetery scene, and we had an actress laying on the ground. She was there for a long time. We had a lot of takes. It was a big scene, and she was freezing. And I went and got her, something to cover up with in between shots. And she said, no. I said, why not? She said, I need to be uncomfortable. And that made me realize that, okay, these actors and actresses really are going that extra step. And it's not method acting. It's just a part of keeping you, I don't know if it's grounded, aware, or whatever it's working for, but I know it was working for her because she did a great job. She really did. It was a really good scene. But
then you go.
I didn't know about rocks.
Then you go into people like Daniel Day-Lewis, who he stays in character the entire time.
The whole shoot.
The entire time,
months.
like when he did Gangs in New York. Like Leonardo DiCaprio was excited to see Daniel Day-Lewis on set, but Daniel Day-Lewis' character didn't like Irish people in Gangs in New York.
Really did.
In Gangs in New York, his character, Bill the Butcher, did not like the Irish. And Leonardo DiCaprio was an Irish, so even in between scenes, he was acting like a dick to him. He was acting like an asshole to him. And the same thing happened with somebody I was listening about was Dave Chappelle just did a stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
And he talked about Jim Carrey playing Andy Kaufman on Man on the Moon, and Dave Chappelle was so excited to see Jim Carrey, like to see him. And so he went on set, and they're like, he's in character, he's Andy. So he's like, I had to talk to Andy Kaufman and pretend like it's not Jim Carrey. Jim wouldn't talk to me as Jim. He was only talking to me as Andy Kaufman.
I'm not gonna lie, you read my mind on that, because I was gonna bring that one up.
There you
great
go.
minds think
great
alike,
minds
man.
Think alike.
Yeah.
I don't know about great minds, just some minds.
Some minds, yeah.
Some minds.
Well,
Paul, why are you dressed up like a sperm cell?
I have come to set to see if y'all would figure out what I'm doing. I'm interjecting into my host, and How do I look?
I feel like
How
you
many?
look a
You
little
look
bit
like
like
a-
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah,
I've
that
actually heard that.
that, or you look like a background guy from a Sum 41 music video, or no, from what's it called? The people who sing "I Just Wanna Fly."
Oh yeah, Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray, yeah,
Yeah.
you look like a roadie for Sugar Ray.
Okay, yeah,
Let me
that's
try
perfect.
this one. Who is it? Snappity Slim Jim.
Nope,
Is that him? The right character?
that's the right words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for
Just the
Macho
wrong-
Man. Yeah, this is Macho Man like WCW days for sure.
Oh, God, he'll have that up on the screen in editing. Oh, yeah! All right, so I'm pulling it off.
You are pulling it off.
Don't be a hater.
I ain't hating, man.
Paul looks like a guy who
it-
drinks Rockstar energy drinks.
It looks like
Monsters, white monsters, and you know it.
looks like the
He
guy
is a
that
white
just-
monster.
He won't give up snowboarding. Like it's like, hey man, you're getting too old for this. But
All right, so now that we
It's
brought...
tricky. Let's T2 rock around.
All right, so now that we brought characters into the game, and you already know where I'm going with this. So, will you put this on? It's fresh, it's clean. And before I say who he is, if anybody can see where I'm going with this, who he actually looks like. That's it. Okay, so if nobody's guessed yet, I have found Waldo.
I have a goatee now. Waldo with a goatee.
Waldo with a goatee. That's he was hiding.
Too many people were recognizing me in the books, and it was making me pissed off because it's like, there's Waldo right there, and it's like even little kids. So I had to grow a goatee, throw them off a little bit.
It was obvious. It was obvious. But we have found Waldo. So while we got Waldo here, we'll talk to Waldo.
Okay.
And
what do you want to know? I mean,
I want to know.
I've done like over thousands of books.
Yeah, I knew that. And I hadn't found you in any of them. I didn't care enough to look, I guess.
Oh man.
The only reason I look now to find you to get you on the show.
Well, the only person I don't want looking is the police. You know.
Police. Okay, so you're doing some bad stuff. What are you hiding from the police from?
Waldo can't talk about that.
Okay. Get him in
Yeah.
trouble?
Yeah.
You
what?
scared? You scared of the police?
No, I'm not scared. It's just that's why Waldo was hiding. I mean, that's why he's hiding in all those books. I mean, Waldo was, but I changed my life. I've changed it.
Full 360.
I did. I used to be hiding and like I was actually infamous. Like people thought I was just famous for being Waldo, but I was actually infamous by the police.
So you're not scared of the public or what have you? I know you.
I mean, yeah, I was public enemy #1 at one time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I think you're pretty timid about life anyhow. You know, just reminds me of the conversation we had as far as coming here on the show. I'd said that Hunter had a headache the night before, and then you said, "Man, I'd rather not show up if he's got COVID." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"How did you get COVID out of a headache?"
Sometimes you can have a major headache and it turn into COVID. I mean, Waldo actually wasn't in a few books during COVID.
Waldo was hiding from COVID, so you never got COVID because you hid from COVID.
Well, I was hiding from the world and making beats. That's why I said I have to go out there again, man. I gotta get back outside. That's why I'm doing this podcast now, but this is the first time I've ever been exposed. So, world,
First
please-
time.
Yeah, please. This is the first Waldo interview that's ever been.
We're not gonna-
The other ones are fake.
Is
Yeah.
this the first time you exposed yourself, though?
That's why he's
Indecently.
running from the law.
Indecently.
If you want to know the truth, that's why I am running from the law.
Let me guess, you were in a McDonald's back when they had the balls and stuff out
No,
on the playground.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
Not for kids.
Popped up out of that with a pelvic thrust. Look at me!
Well, I used to, Waldo used to be like naked and, number
Afraid.
one. Yeah, I was never. Oh yeah, I guess I was afraid when I was little.
Still are.
No, I'm not afraid anymore.
That's right, you're coming out
Yeah,
the closet.
no. I found God. I found God, and I turned my life around. You know.
Okay. Okay. So you identify as out of the closet.
Serious.
Yeah. Like Waldo is really becoming a better person these days.
I like Waldo. I think everybody likes Waldo. I think that you had come out in the children's books back in the 70s, 80s.
Well, I was in children's books, but I never exposed myself in a children's book. It was actually a Playgirl magazine, but I walked off of the set because I thought I was still like in the Playgirl mansion, you know what I'm saying? And then when I walked off of the set, apparently you can't walk around naked outside of the Playgirl mansion.
Oh, not when it's cold, for sure.
Yeah.
You didn't have much to afford that cold weather.
Yeah, everybody goes to Playboy mansion. Try the Playgirl mansion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Playboy mansion.
Playgirl.
Playboy. That's a thinker. Okay. So
Yeah.
he's coming out, which we're learning a lot today.
Yeah, I was at the Playgirl mansion. That's where it happened. But, you know, I was just trying to make a little extra money. It was a hard time before the books, you know. But once the books happened, but then I had to, like, keep it under wraps.
Hey, so the Playgirl mansion, if I'm correct, so if you think of the Playboy mansion, it's a bunch of hot chicks and then like people like Fred Durst and people like that go. So at the Playgirl mansion, y'all must have people like, you know, Bette Midler and just like, you know, just some older women who are looking for some fun, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. I got to meet Sybil Shepherd. That was I'm telling you. But that was another life, okay? That was worlds away.
Hey, Waldo, you got to be 60 by now. You look pretty good for 60.
Yeah, you know what it is?
A lot of masturbation.
Absolutely.
Oh God, you could be 200.
Yeah, I honestly, if you masturbate at least 3 times a day, you look a third less.
Younger.
A third less.
Well, Hunter looks about 10, 15 years old to me right now. Now I know how he's keeping.
It's good for the prostate. Actually, no, it's not, because I have bad prostate problems.
And here's to Flomax. It's approved to treat male urinary symptoms due to BPH, also called an enlarged prostate.
Yeah, you got to hang out and watch Ninja Turtles too. Like, not the first one.
What does that have to do with masturbation?
April O'Neil, man.
Because April O'Neil, yeah.
Oh, okay, I missed that one, I guess.
Yep, that was like our childhood crush.
Yeah,
her and the pink,
y'all were yanking
the Pink
to
Ranger too. I wasn't yanking nothing then. I was just like, I want her to be my wife.
That's when we were pillow humping.
God dang it.
Yeah.
Speaking of pillow humping, has anybody noticed my dog sitting in his lap during the podcast? Can you see him? Can you see him? Waldo,
Yeah.
the dog, that's how we found Waldo. You know, the dog's sense of smell is 10,000 times greater or something than humans.
Yeah, I mean,
But he's got to be struggling because he's in your crotch.
I actually am releasing a scent.
I believe it's called.
It's just called Waldo.
Oh, Waldo. Oh,
Yeah.
You gonna brand that?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What does it
because
smell like?
I mean, everybody knows my books now, so I smell pretty good. Like, apparently, like, I've been told by quite a few people.
Yeah, I didn't take a chance. That's why you're over there.
Yeah.
You just
But,
look like you stink.
You do realize that if you were to pet or move, Buddy would snap you, the dog.
Would he?
Yeah, he probably would. Try to push him off, throw him off. He would probably bite you.
Buddy's my buddy, man.
Buddy's your buddy.
Yeah, I love Buddy.
He's in a podcast. He's so dumb. He doesn't even know it. They're right dogs. What'd you do? Good boy. That's the extent of his talent. So
Your breath be stinking. You need a
his
Tic
breath.
Tac.
His breath does stink. His breath does stink. I thought that was.
Do they make dog Tic Tacs? They should.
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
They do have something like that. It does not work for him. Poor dog. He's
But
got a bad tooth.
It's actually kind of like puppy breath, and like a late puppy breath.
Yeah,
you know, where it smells kind of okay at the end.
It's pure rot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was.
Okay, yeah, it's actually
Nasty.
pretty bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
I was,
No, it's bad.
I was
needs
thinking it might be
surgery.
a sweet ending, but then I was like,
No, no, good try. So I'm glad that we found Waldo, and we learned a little bit about Waldo and his new clothing.
No, my scent.
Scent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sent from the gods. That's where I got my scent from, and now I bottled it. So it's actually like, do you ever see that episode of Real Monsters from back in the day?
No.
Well, it was a Nickelodeon show. Check it out if you've never seen it. And there was this guy, Crumb, okay? And Crumb was this guy who had eyeballs that he would hold up like this. And then his armpits would be constantly like sticking out, and he'd have hair like coming out of his armpits.
I think I have seen this now that you said that.
He bottled his own scent, and I was watching the episode one day, and I was like, this is genius. And I decided to do the same thing.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, so it's going to be Waldo Aqua de la Funk. It's got to have some title to it. So that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm glad I finally exposed myself, but not like before. I got it. But hello. Or can you do a close up here? Like I really want like people to know who the real Waldo is. All right.
Can you get all that head one shot?
Can you get this? Because they're gonna have to be able to find me later.
I got a question for JT Smooth.
Yeah, what's that?
All right, can you hit us with something right now, or what? Like, just taking in the whole moment, the podcast, everything.
Well,
can you hit us with just a little rhyme or something, or how does that work? Are you freestyle guy?
Well, JT Smooth actually is not in character right now. Waldo is in character. And to turn into JT Smooth, it might require something magical, like substance or something. To create.
Okay. I see.
All right, anybody got some crack?
No, it's not crack. It's not
just a left-handed cigarette?
Yeah, it's just a left-handed cigarette. It's like, you get the medical and you
just
can go
with it.
Yeah.
Go with it. And they're everywhere. They're down here. They're actually our old gym turned into medicinal.
Yeah, I don't drive under the influence.
How do you get anywhere?
Well, I record at my house.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I knew that he's probably always, JT Smooth's always high.
Yeah, JT Smooth.
That's how you got to be to create. I get that. And a lot of people do it.
Sometimes I've done it, but I don't go under that alias. Like if it's like my regular name, I might be like completely sober when I do it. If I'm like, sometimes it's my energy, you know what I mean? But usually with JT Smooth, it's just like Lil Wayne, you know what I mean? Lil Wayne, like,
yeah,
you hear the bong hits in like some of his songs, and he comes in, 40 ounces used to go into play, but I quit drinking, or JT Smooth did, and actually Johnny did too. So,
really?
Yeah, I quit drinking. I don't smoke cigarettes. The only thing I partake in is the weed.
He said partoke.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, I didn't know that. I figured you nipped the bud some and then chased it with a little whiskey, beer, whatever. That's surprising. But I do get the enhancement of a lot of people that create, probably most that's done anything great, did it under the influence of some marijuana or whatever else. And that's getting into depth. Mushrooms. Moji, you know more about this than me. Would you say, is the shrooms is that too much to get people on the creative track, just marijuana? What is your take on what most writers and creators do that's done great stuff?
Well, obviously everybody's different, because people like Ernest Hemingway and Hunter S. Thompson, they had a completely different regiment when it came to writing. Now, I don't know if that was what made them creative, or if that's just what got them in the zone, but they were wild turkey and straight up alcohol and whatever else, and cocaine, or at least Hunter S. Thompson was. But it's funny because during the 60s, before LSD was completely just put as probably one of the worst drugs that you could possibly have in possession, they gave it to some artists, just regular, really good artists, and their paintings went from good to just looking like shit.
Really?
Yeah, it was different.
That's a little twist, right?
Yeah,
there.
it was different. So everybody's different, man. And I don't knock marijuana at all.
I never have.
It's sometimes it could just get some people down to where they're not thinking so much about, what other people think or what, they're chill, they're in the zone, and that's what it does for them, and they can create better. So, to each his own, everybody's different, and you get different things in different times and different moments of your life. Back when I used to do stuff, and do party drugs and things like that, I look back at some of my stuff and it was interesting, but it's not who I am now. And if I did it now, I would just be a complete wreck and I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah,
but,
you would not be able to put a show like this together and run it.
Right, no, but it was a reflection of the time.
Right.
It was a reflection of the phase, and I guess every artist kind of grows and adapts, but
yeah, the key is really just working at it every day. I'm not saying like as a musician go do weed or any type of drug, but
being consistent with anything.
Yeah, just constantly working on whatever your craft is will help you improve.
Yeah, we've got a train coming through, so we'll
let's take a hiatus, and I'm gonna check this off.
we're going to take a break right now. We will be back shortly after these messages.
Can you keep a secret? Then listen to Mattel's new baby secret.
Is anyone else awake?
She whispers just to you, and her lips really move when she talks. It's almost unbelievable.
Satan values your soul.
Baby Secret tells lots of secrets, so you never know what she'll say next.
He can give you everything.
And she looks so real, the way her lips move like yours.
The Dark Lord needs a sacrifice.
She can even pose the way you want.
A human sacrifice.
Get Mattel's soft and wonderful new baby secret, so you can have fun keeping secrets together. What kind? If we told, they wouldn't be secrets anymore.
Bow to your new master, Satan.
Welcome back to A Dying Breed with Johnny Tomsik, a.k.a. Waldo, sitting in with us today talking about LSD.
Wait, yeah, we were. Do we have to continue to talk about LSD?
No,
or?
but I do have a point as far as LSD, and I think between maybe one of you guys to know. I remember seeing a documentary on where it seems like the government created LSD actually initially. Do
Right.
either one of you guys have a take on that?
Yeah.
They didn't create it, but
it was
they-
actually created by somebody else. But
Yeah, it was a chemist. I think he was somewhere in Europe or something.
Germany.
Hoffman.
yeah,
Albert Hoffman was
Albert
the one
Hoffman.
and he accidentally made it, and then he accidentally dosed himself, and then the
Riding a
famous-
bicycle.
Well, then he said he got on his bicycle and rode, and it was just this magical bike ride, and that's why most people have they have bicycle day still to this day, which people honor him and his trip that he took on his bike. So
And Queen's song is about that, I heard.
Really?
The song, I like to ride my bicycle.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
I like to ride my bicycle.
Yeah.
Bicycle.
Yep. But I wouldn't. What happened with it is the government. This is what I know, and people will probably be like, "You're a fucking idiot," and I am. But the government, for a while there, it was completely legal. Like
Right.
back in the early '60s, it was you could get it. Psychologists were using it. That's where Timothy Leary and all them came from. They were psychology students at Harvard.
He
and
made Sunshine Acid.
they got dosed with it, and when they did, they're like, I think it was actually psilocybin, but once they did it, they were like, fuck the Harvard shit. We got to turn people on to this stuff. This is like a whole new game. That's kind of what started the whole movement of the 60s. But
You mean turn on people on? Was it ever
Tune
deployed
in, turn on, and drop out, right?
deployed for the military, as far as the use for the military?
the
to
military
fight? 'Cause
tried
there's
it
no
out.
Fear.
They tried to see how they could utilize it, and it didn't work out for them. They put some soldiers on it. There's a famous video of British soldiers on it, and they're just like laughing, and some of them are freaking out and stuff like that. So they didn't find any use of it in that sense. But then there's also the whole MK Ultra stuff where they tried to utilize it for mind control, and so eventually they just didn't see any use for it. But the government also saw that when people did it, they suddenly started to come together and question, authority and, challenge the system. So they ended up making it the highest scheduled narcotic imaginable, where people who were in possession of it would get more time in prison than people who had murdered somebody.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the government was it made people 6'5", 400 pounds. They thought they were invincible. Basically, is that what I'm getting?
No,
off of?
it made them just see that this system is kind of a fucking joke, and that they don't need. They were coming together, and the whole hippie movement. They don't need war. They didn't need all this stuff. They were challenging authority, and it was making them think outside the box big time. And the government don't want that. They don't want you thinking outside the box. But the truth of the matter with psychedelics is, when they did that and they made it a scheduled narcotic like that, they closed down all research on it. Everything stopped in the 60s. It was just taboo. But now it's opening up, and people are realizing, and what people have already realized with psilocybin and stuff, is the benefits that it has for PTSD, for depression, for all these things. And that scares, big pharma, that scares other people, because you don't have to take a pill for the rest of your life when you can just have one,
like the microdose.
You can have one trip that changes your entire perspective.
It
like cures your addiction, it
or
changes your
something.
PTSD, it cures your depression, and that's what this does. So that's why it's been so fearful. And it's been on this earth for, they're finding traces of mushroom art in old religious things. And people, there's a book called Jesus and the Sacred Mushroom, where they talk about, old Christian monks and people like that. When they would go in these caves and they would see these visions, they were using psychedelics, to get in touch and to see these things. So.
Seven Heaven.
I don't know. I'm a big proponent of it, and I think that it's not for everybody. And LSD is a whole different story than psilocybin to me. But I think in the right setting, setting in the right state of mind, it could be beneficial to a lot of people, especially people who are dealing with depression, anxiety, losing somebody, all this kind of trauma, or people who are dying of cancer. They're using it for them. They give them MDMA, or they give them stuff to do with their wife one last time, and it's beneficial, man. It's very beneficial.
But the government's not going to have it because they're behind big pharma.
That,
they can't benefit.
Yeah, that and it doesn't jive with the let's be sheep mindset.
Put us under the thumb, the control. So it all leads back to control, and something that I've never tried. Now you say psilocybin?
Psilocybin.
Psilocybin?
Psilocybin, which is the active ingredient in magic mushrooms.
Okay, so it's just a totally different compound than the LSD? Because I don't know what the acronym is for LSD.
Well,
something psychedelic drug.
Hold on, I'm trying to get your camera right here. There we go.
No, it's just I'm looking silly.
Let's see if I can. What? Let's see, where am I at? There I am. All right, you don't even need to see my dumb ass head while I talk about this. Yeah, there I am. Everything. Anyways, repeat your question, Paul.
The difference between psilocybin and LSD, as far as you were relating those two like they were similar. They're totally different compounds, similar effects.
Yeah, they're totally different compounds, but they're both in the psychedelic, in the psychoactive, whatever the fuck the terminology is. They both make you trip. But to me, psilocybin is magic mushrooms are a lot more natural. They're a lot more, the come down isn't. It kind of you gradually come back down into it. It's not as intense. LSD is a very intense experience, especially if you take a lot of it, and it's a little bit more unnatural feeling. It's more like a thought. I can't really explain it, but you got to be ready for it.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Like Hunter S. Thompson said, you buy the ticket, you take the ride. So once you get into that, you got to have 8 hours, sometimes a day, and the next day to kind of
LSD
rehash.
is a long time, whereas if you take mushrooms, it's like only a few hours.
Anybody out there that's ever experienced any of this, put down in the comments an experience you had, good, bad, and different, and just curious about what's going on. It's something I've never been involved with. I know the shrooms is a big deal, people going overseas and having these clinics put on, and they're overseen by, these monks and things like that for these
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca,
Yeah.
you mentioned it a while ago. And I really think that's beneficial. I am a proponent to all that. I don't do it, but probably need to. 10 years of depression, I wish that I had the opportunity to deal with that. It could have shortened it, which your friend in the lap was one of the main deals that pulled me out of my depression.
Oh.
Having an animal is, man, that had similar issues that I did, especially.
A lot of people don't understand this, but Waldo, even though people can't see me all the time, animals love me.
They can.
Animals will just jump on my lap, like any animal.
They know, and that's how he ended up here. As far as he came straight to you, he didn't come to everybody. I promise you, he doesn't. He bites my girlfriend once a day, but some people have that aura about them that attracts animals. So like dog whisper stuff. I do believe that.
Yeah.
But animals, they sense that stuff.
I'm a big dog proponent and cat proponent. I love animals. If I could save the world, I would want to make sure that we would set up more things for animals to enjoy. It's not all about people.
Man, that's a whole different show, because I am too. My girlfriend's really into the rescue. Actually, that's where she is today. Wags and Whiskers is a business out of Alabama that they're very recognized nowadays. They've become a 501, which that means they get benefits from doing what they do.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So they're really growing. They've been growing for quite a few years now, and I appreciate what they're doing, and more people need to do it. And if anybody ever needs, don't buy an animal unless it's a rescue.
Yeah.
There's so many animals out there that need to be taken care of. Now, if you've got to have one for a reason, certain functions or whatever, I can understand that. But typically, go to a pound, go to these rescues, adopt an animal.
Because, pound it to that.
But it's animals are. I gauge people about my circle about the way they are with animals.
And if you can't take care of yourself, don't get an animal.
Exactly. You
gotta really know how to nurture these things. They're just like having a kid, and a lot of people just neglect animals, and that's not cool.
It's not just an accessory for your purse. It's
what I think happens a lot is that people will get these gifts for their kid and makes them happy that day, but the kid can't take care of it if the adults aren't ready to take care of it, and then they just kick it aside or don't want to take care of it like they need to. It's a problem. But any kid's going to take a puppy or a cat or whatever, a rabbit, but if the parents aren't ready to take care of it, don't get it.
And then let the animal take care of you, like in your case.
Exactly.
Animals will take care of you as well.
They will.
So if you can't take care of it, don't get it, but also let it take care of you sometimes.
Yep, and they do. It works. It really does. And I lost my dad last December, and I just kept pushing it, that Mom, you need an animal. She's living by herself in a bigger house, and she finally got a cat. My sister works at a veterinarian clinic, and she had a little rescue cat and said, Mom, you want to keep it for a little while just as a foster. And needless to say, it's been months, and she still has it and loves it. I hear stories about, what she does, and, I see it brings happiness. But everybody needs that in their life. But I totally agree with you. If you're not ready for it, it's a responsibility, and you need to take care of the animals.
I'm with you on the, my grandmother, she died in 2006, but my grandmother was at the house by herself a lot of times, and she had about 2 or 3 dogs. I didn't know how she did it because, of course we would come every other weekend. She lived in Louisiana, and her daughter was down the road, but, she was in a house, a big house that they built in the 70s for, 3 kids and a whole family, but it was just her. And she had taken in 2 strays, and then she had a cat, and, we had another dog. Basically, when our dogs would get kind of older, we had 2 dogs that got older, and they ended up going to my grandmother's. Not because we didn't want them anymore, but, they were just easy to take care of, and they were there for her. And I asked her, I was like, how do you stay by yourself? And she's like, I'm not by myself. I got, my buddies with me.
Hey, Dad, want to play catch?
I'll be right there.
So, animals are a part of the family, and if anybody thinks otherwise, then, they're not really an animal person.
No, they're not really a good person, and I can tell you that.
If you're not an animal person and you have an animal, you should get stomped down.
You're right, and you should. And like I said, I choose my circle,
Bite the curve,
If you don't
right?
watch South Park, if you don't laugh at a fart,
if
you don't like animals, it tells me a lot about what I need to know right off.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very serious with the animal abuse thing, and that may end up being one of our shows.
Do you want Waldo to bring his guns?
Waldo can bring his guns.
Okay.
But I know that we're getting out of time because Waldo has got to go to work.
I actually, yeah.
Well, can Waldo tell us a little bit about?
I deliver pizzas. That's what
Waldo.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Waldo will be right with us.
I'll be right back.
And we're going to find out how Waldo makes his money.
Okay.
And how he pays his bills.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, Waldo, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Good to be back?
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
I mean, I felt like I was here, but now I'm back again.
Yeah, but that's how you are. It's all in your head.
Right, yeah.
So,
well, I have multiple musician disorder or personalities.
Personalities.
Yeah, in general, yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
All right, so you're fixing to leave here, and what will Waldo be doing?
Well, I got to hit the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I work on the road.
Work on the road.
Yeah.
Make your money on the road.
On the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a delivery guy, and
yeah, I deliver.
Okay, so you deliver for a restaurant.
Yes.
And it is a franchise. So the question I've got for you.
Secret franchise.
The question I got to you,
yes.
They still deliver independently, but Uber, DoorDash, all this, how is that competitive? How does that work?
They actually deliver for us too.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Do they even have to cover some area too? So what is the benefit with your company to sub that out?
Well, the thing is sometimes it gets so busy. Pizza is basically like the original crack.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So the OG crack has to go, and what we do is we'll deliver it in any sort of way. So, and then we make sure that it's the highest quality, you know what I mean, and try to get there the fastest. And that's where you have the advantage of being an actual pizza delivery person, because like as soon as it comes out, you're grabbing it. It takes a few seconds for a DoorDash, or even if they come on time, to do the whole transaction. Correct. So, and then also a lot of people don't realize, but pizza delivery people also make the pizza and cut the pizza and do all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, they actually work inside of the place.
So Waldo's slicing and dicing before he may take his own delivery.
Exactly. And
okay.
Yeah.
What is the benefit? There's obviously with Uber, Grubhub, how they get paid is who's paying more money. If I had it DoorDash to me versus you bringing it to me.
It depends on what deals are going that day. Because sometimes DoorDash has a special deal, or Uber Eats, and they might have a free delivery or something like that.
Really? Okay.
Well, I got a quick question for.
But usually it's cheaper for the pizza delivery person to deliver.
I got a quick question for Waldo. What's it like delivering pizza in a BMW?
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I've been in all these books, you know, made all this money, and so I decided, you know, just enjoy my retirement years, get a BMW, deliver some pizza. You know, I'd still want to do my service. You know, I was in prison.
Yeah, that's true.
And even though I broke out every day,
still didn't have that same type of freedom that you do now.
Yeah, like I used to just go to fairs, and that was just fair.
Now you get to go to
everybody's
house.
Now I got to make the fair. And be prepared. And be prepared.
I saw the twist. All right, so, well, this has been a very interesting interview, and I'm glad that Waldo and Johnny could visit me today. So
Johnny, not so much. Johnny was not here today.
Yeah, I like Waldo more anyhow.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we can get JT Smooth in the house fully.
Yeah, JT Smooth. He was just pre-absorbed today, man.
Yeah.
He's been working on a song. He's still probably at home refining it, you know. So
I want to hear it when it comes out. Well, anyhow, guys, thanks for joining us today, and we will be back shortly with some more content, with some more crazy people. And comment below on the LSD trips you've ever been on, shrooms, whatever, worst, best experiences, because I want to know. I would try to respond to everyone that I can. Thank you for joining A Dying Breed. We're out.
Hey, thank you guys.